Ever since I was a little kid, my favorite superhero was and will always be the wall crawler, the webhead, the one and only, amazing Spider-Man. I love everything to do with the geeky kid from Queens that was bit by a radioactive spider and enjoys red and blue spandex.
Looks uncomfortable.
It gets kind of itchy. It rides up in the crotch a little bit, too.
Growing up, I wanted to be Spider-Man. I had a bunch of the toys like those web shooters, which was just an overpriced can of silly string. I remember I played with them for approximately 2 minutes, and then I had to have them taken away from me because I ruined the couch. Those were good times. And, sorry, Mom. Writing the script brought an old memory back to me. For Halloween a long time ago, I wanted to be good old Spider-Man, like every kid does. So my mom got me a Spider-Man costume, and I was so excited, but something wasn't right. And my grandmother noticed that I was perplexed. And I told her that the costume wasn't right. It didn't have the web wings. And she sewed a pair of custom web gliding wings just so I could look like the cover of Amazing Fantasy. Why? Because my grandma is awesome. Thank you, Grammy. You're the best, and I love you. I wore that costume with pride. I went to school feeling like a superhero. But deep down, I knew no matter what, I'll never be Spider-Man. Because I'm black. For those of you who don't know, yeah, I'm a black person. Well, actually, I'm half black and half Puerto Rican. I'm not trying to make a big deal out of that. I'm just telling you what a little kid version of me felt. Growing up, I saw a lot of white kids in commercials, and on toy boxes, and in movies and television, and I often wondered, why couldn't people like me be there? Now, no one told me I couldn't be Spider-Man. Actually, my family said the opposite. They told me, you're damn right you can be Spider-Man. But I always felt like I was the black Spider-Man. No, not that one. I mean a black person in a white person's costume. And as a kid, I wanted Spider-Man to have skin like mine. I wanted that to be okay. Why? I don't really know. Maybe because I wanted to see a character that is everything a hero should be. Kind, funny, strong, powerful, smart, and never gives up. Look like me. And it helps me feel noticed and inspired. Anyone can be a hero, right? Then why don't our heroes look like anyone? Enter a kid named Miles Morales. Debuting in August 2011 and created by Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pashley. I really hope I'm saying that name right. Ever since this kid hit the scene, he's been leaving his mark and growing in popularity. He's all over new comics, and he's been making steady appearances in cartoons, and of course I have to mention his movie, Into the Spider-Verse, one of my favorite movies of all time. God, I can't wait for the sequel. But in 2018, Insomniac Games decided to put him in Marvel Spider-Man.
Miles!
Now, I don't need to tell you about this game. It's amazing, and I love it. Unfortunately, I couldn't make a video on it because I didn't have a PlayStation at the time, and I was busy with my depression. Yada 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 yakety smackety. But I played it on a friend's PlayStation and it's one of my favorite Spider-Man games of all time. Right up there next to Ultimate Spider-Man and Shattered Dimensions. Great game, great story, and one of the things I was most excited about is Miles was in the game. Not the stealth missions, those sucked, but having him in the story was amazing, and honestly, I was happy with that. However, Insomniac went a step further and gave him his own game. My boy Miles got the AAA treatment where he's the star of the show. The game looks good, sounds good, and most importantly, feels good. The lovely people at Insomniac took all the great parts from 2018 Spider-Man and built upon it. by embracing what makes Miles different than Peter. Combat in this game feels as good as ever, but now we get to beat the piss out of criminals with Venom. No, not that one. Well, not yet anyway. Venom is what Miles calls his bioelectric powers, or Rhino calls them Zappy Pops.
You like my new color? Immune to your little Zappy Pops.
Zappy Pops? Come on, man.
With Venom, you can amp your attacks to ridiculous levels and do some serious damage. You unlock more and more Venom powers through progressing the game and the story, and each time you get one, it's like Christmas morning and the gift is a fresh can of whoop-ass. With this little addition, it made combat feel great. Everything else has appeared in other superhero games. You punch people until they fall over. Side note, I'd like to point out that the takedowns in this game look a lot more painful. Dope, but painful. Something that a lot of people felt needed improvement in Spider-Man 2018 was the stealth mechanics. Now, personally, I didn't have much of a problem with that because I avoid stealth wherever possible. But in this game, I like stealth because Miles can turn invisible. I don't know if spiders can turn invisible. To be fair, I've never seen one. Wait. With the press of a button, Miles disappears. And because of this, I found myself wanting to sneak around and pick off bad guys one by one like a spider. Or a bat, but that's a different game. Like I was saying, little change, but a big outcome in my opinion. And may I add that the scene that introduces the camouflage is one of the best story moments in the game. Not only is it after a sweet set piece with a bridge collapsing and Miles gets a dope-ass hero pushes past their limit moment, and Lord knows I love those, but after, I noticed something. Take a look.
I did this. My powers. I made it explode. Everyone's safe. After the explosion, the bridge started
We've got eyes on the other Spider-Man. Please advise.
What's going on? I have no idea.
Copy.
No! No, I'm not your enemy.
What are you doing? He saved us!
Hey, leave him alone!
I'm recording this. We're watching.
Put that phone away now. I said put that phone away now.
Hey, get your hands off me! Holy!
Leave now. This is your last warning.
I saved him!
What the hell? Where'd he go?
Oh my, did he go over?
Did they push him?
What happened to him?
Help him.
Now I'm not saying, but I'm just saying that scene was saying something. You know what I'm saying? What I love about this scene is two things. One, the Roxxon guards don't know Miles is black, so it's not about race. But because of the world and the times we're in, it can definitely be interpreted that way. For me, a black man in America. I got chills and nervous because of this scene. And the second thing is that that's what comic books, and by extension of comic book related stories, are supposed to do. Be a mirror that society can use to reflect. X-Men is about racism and discrimination. Iron Man is about war, profiteering, and addiction. Superman is about an immigrant coming to America. Miles can touch on race relation through the eyes of a young person of color. Or maybe I'm crazy and need to stop making it about race. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. I'm curious.
Whoa. Thanks, neighbors.
I love the story of this game. I know some people think it's lacking in some areas, but in my opinion, it's perfect for what the game needs. You see, Miles is still a new character as far as comic books are concerned, but this game isn't an origin story. We already got that in 2018 and in the comics and in the movie Spider-Verse. This game did something a little different. In the comics, Peter died after slapping Green Goblin in the mouth with a bus, and Miles takes up the mantle. In the movie version, Peter dies and Miles takes up the mantle, but is taught and guided by other people like him. In this game, Peter is alive and well, and has been teaching Miles the do's and don'ts of being a superhero. And the story focuses on Miles going on his first big superhero adventure by himself for a few weeks, because Peter is going away for a bit. What comes out of all this is a smaller story for sure, but it's packed full of good characters, genuine emotion, and memorable moments, as Miles gets a taste of what it means to be a hero. It means pain and suffering, loss. But a hero chooses to endure all of that and fight. If you can play this game, I highly recommend it. And I hope you enjoyed half as much as I did. I've spent this entire video talking about what I like about the game, and I didn't even scratch the surface. Like, I didn't even talk about the music, but trust me, it slaps. It's so damn good. Just like this game. There's something special about it. I think this game came out in the perfect year. Not because this was a good year, God knows this year was historically awful on every front, but as we get closer to the end of the year, I want everyone who's watching this video to remember, no matter how hard things get or how bad things may seem, every day is an opportunity to make the world a better place. So, go. Be amazing. Be spectacular. If you don't think you can be those things, just know that I believe in you. If I may, I'd like to quote the end of the game. To Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pashili, I really hope I'm saying your name right, I'm sorry, forgive me, and all the Spider-Man writers and artists over the years, thank you for showing us that no matter who you are or what you look like, we can all be heroes. And I'd like to personally thank the team at Insomniac for putting your blood, sweat, and tears into this game. It is truly amazing to play a Spider-Man that looks like me. But tell me, what do you think of the game? And how excited are you for the next game? Can the good folks at Insomniac get a three-peat? I sure hope so with an after-credit teaser like that. Talk to me in the comments below. Until then, remember, life imitates art. Light to dark. See ya.